I was like, I don't want to read. I'm going to play a game for like 3 hours. But now I'm going to
Me. Yeah, literally. I
read.
was like, let's watch a movie. Let's play a game. Let's
Yeah.
do anything but read. I'm so tired today.
Me.
Yeah, it's a
I got to
struggle.
part two.
Oh, matching.
Yeah.
I've heard it's good. Are you guys enjoying it so far?
I am.
I
Every
am.
time I'm reading it, I'm like in the text, and the writing clearly is beautiful.
It really
Nice.
like it almost, in my opinion, feels like reading like something told through poetry in verse.
Hmm.
God, that's yes.
Even though it's like definitely prose, it feels like in verse.
I think it's because like it's written like a letter. I meant to Google this. What counts as second person? Because I really feel like this is first person, but also I think I've heard otherwise, and I'm like, I mean, it's written like a letter, so
Mm. I don't know. Well, second person, I always just think of you because I know you is written in second person.
yeah.
Like
But
how,
I always thought of it as like, you know, those pick your own adventure books, basically like you are walking and do this, but that's not how this is written. It's like you did this, I reacted this way. That's not how it's actually written to the people watching. That's not
ah,
how it's actually written. It's a lot more lyrical than that, but basically it's like you did this, I reacted this way, I'm like, that's first person. But then yeah, like I've just heard that it's second person, so I was like, am I wrong?
It's
unless it's like mixed. I don't know.
it's almost like the main character, to me it feels like writing in like a journal, but the journal is basically a letter to the person that she's calling you.
I think it's like the journal is alive. I'm like Chamber of Secrets.
A vibe, like I like writing something to somebody, calling them out, but it's really good.
Yes.
But good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning from 10 p.m. PST time.
Yep. I
So,
heard, for some reason heard 10 a.m. and I was like, how did you do that math so fast? Even though that would be 12 hours. I was like, how what? Clearly I don't know what time it is here to be able to make it something. What are you reading, Jolene? Let us know.
let us know. I'm
Yeah,
so
I am very close to finishing Misery. Just cover the title letter.
Yay.
Yeah, it's good so far. I'm very close. So fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah, you should be able to finish that during sprints then.
Yeah, for sure. And then I have a stack behind me that I'm like, I'll pick something. Just don't make me pick yet. It's 7 a.m. Okay. I mean, I'd be asleep. So thank you for being here.
like
I would be like, would my alarm would have even gone off? No, it doesn't go off until 7:45.
Kingdom of the Wicked. I have the audiobook. I want to start it soon.
you should. Kingdom of the Wicked is so like the audiobook is so good. Like one of the top audiobooks I've read.
All right, good to know. Yeah, I
I
think I've only listened to like one full audiobook ever. Like I'm very new to them. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's what. Hopefully it's good.
no, yeah. I have not read Kingdom of the Wicked yet, but a lot of people have read it. I swear, in like the last 2 weeks, and I want to. I'm very interested now.
It's it's good. If you like lyrical writing, it doesn't have that. It like
Does it have a good plot though? Because
it,
like if it's still strong in one area, I'll probably still like it.
the
Yeah.
plot is really really good, but I like lyrical writing for me is something I need, and so I would still recommend it. The plot is like really cool. So
Nice.
And do I have a soft spot for Raph, even though he is evil? Yes.
Oh, we love a bad boy.
We love a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
I think
long
I
as
came across.
it's healthy.
Oh, sorry. You...
I was like, as long as it's healthy, because I literally said that and then looked at my book and was like, I don't know.
Not that one.
That's not a bad thing. Genuinely.
An early riser. 5 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
How do you do it?
I mean, you do what you gotta do, but
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I feel like I was that way when I had early classes or had to work. I don't know about able, but I made it to where I needed to be at the right time.
I feel like I'd do better trying to stay up till 5 a.m. than trying to wake up at 5 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Mm.
Absolutely.
I would I woke up at 5 a.m. like my whole life, and then once I hit college, I was like, nope, not doing that.
Exactly.
But props to you, Jolene. I would simply decay. 5 a.m. Hello.
Hi.
Then hi, Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. What's everyone reading?
Yeah, let us know what you're reading.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, I was gonna say about Kingdom of the Wicked before. I saw this like hate review for it on Amazon or Goodreads or something, and they were complaining that they're like, "Why is it always talking about food? What is this, a cookbook?" And I was like, I haven't read it, so I don't know. But I was like, that's a weird thing to complain about.
Yeah, like what? Now I have to read it. How much are they talking about food?
A lot, but like her family owns a restaurant and like she works in the restaurant and loves to cook.
So it makes sense, is what you're saying.
It fits in with the story. It's not like just, and this is what I'm eating in a day. Like, no, it makes sense in the like grand scheme.
The context, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be funny if like everything else was like not detailed at all, but then as soon as she starts eating something, it's like the flavors coalesced in her mouth. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say this.
Oh,
this is true, in my opinion. I was like, I wanted to make the food so bad the whole time. So
sounds good. Is it kind of like with the Fire on High, like with
I haven't
food?
read Fire on High, but like I imagine it is, and it's all like it sounds really good in like really good Italian food.
Oh, good.
So, and it's like pastas and like I was like, okay.
So I know. I love pasta.
Pasta's literally one of my favorite foods. Because it's literally one of the only things that, like, since I became a vegetarian, like it was able to adapt with me. Like it was like, yep, I'm still here, and I still taste the same.
Yes.
And like pasta's so versatile. It's so good. I'd even just eat it plain. Like it's just it's pasta.
Yes.
You could have any kind of sauce, any kind of thing added into that.
Beautiful. And like a good ravioli or like tortellini, where like just like put anything in there and I will eat it. So good.
Okay, go
on.
Excited for you.
Yes, Nat.
Good luck on your date.
So cute. Isn't it like it's like 10 p.m. She vibes.
Yes. Yes.
We love to see it at. I'm craving pasta now, as you should. I
am too, Sammy.
I think I'm actually having pasta for dinner, so yes. Ooh, I just saw someone's reading.
Trying to focus on the middle.
Tired. Oh, well, we hope you get a good night's sleep, Sydney.
Yeah, this is a marathon. This readathon. Don't just go crazy one day. So do what you got to do.
Definitely took it slow today. Sprint at the finish line. You got this.
Yes, we got time. Hey everyone, I'm reading Verity and I'm scared.
I loved Verity so much. Tay, if you finish during these sprints, you're gonna lose your mind. The ending is crazy. I love the ending so much.
Yeah, I haven't read any Colleen Hoover actually. I only own one of her books, and I literally always forget which book. It's the blue one, Ugly Love.
I like that one.
I'm like the blue
But
one.
I like all her books.
I've only read Confess, and I didn't vibe with it. But
yeah, that one's okay.
I feel like it was the storyline and the fact that like I hated both of the love interests. Like, just could not stand them. But and the main girl, I was like, girl, you deserve too much. Plus, there was like a trope in there that I was like, no, thank you, bye. So
interesting.
But that one's been getting a lot of hype recently. Like, I feel like everybody I follow is like, Confess is so good, and I'm like,
oh, I thought you were going to say Verity. Confess. That's one of the forgettable ones, really.
Oh yeah. And when I finally, I'm supposed to read It Is With Us soon and Verity, but they both feel like I'm gonna cry, and I don't want that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed Verity. So I don't read heaps of thrillers, but I read this one in a day. And it was like actually legit, like my heart was pounding and I was like, I was like freaking out. I was like, I have to know.
I mean, yeah. I feel like Verity is one of the ones that scare me. Like, I think about it and I feel anxious. I feel like it's a lot.
Definitely. She was talking about calamari.
Oh,
so true.
I would eat that right now.
But it's such a vibe. Like, the food in that book hit so good. And the drinks, like, it was like, dang. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but this got me wanting to. And so it was a fun quick read, honestly. And the audiobook makes it so much better.
You guys are really selling me on this book.
Well, I have one more selling point. I do. This.
I love that he's back. I
love that I looked up from my phone and I was like, what? Oh, hello. Yeah.
Here he is. Read for him. Read for that tattoo.
Yeah, and it honestly, it's the tattoo for me.
And that should be it. This is a true statement. The food makes up for the lack of good decision-making skills of the main character. Yes.
But look, if the character doesn't make bad decisions, is there even a plot?
That is also a true statement.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, okay, if they just constantly make the smart decision, then we're not going to have as much conflict.
That is true.
Yeah.
If every character thought like me, nothing would get done. They'd be at their house the whole time. Like, that was a terrible
they'd be like, quick, make a decision. And I'd be like, I can't.
Don't ask me to make a decision. I'll literally cry. No, I will not. You make it for me, and I promise I won't complain. That's how it goes over in this house.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But it's really, it is a level that the main character reaches, and having read it, I feel like I wasn't in the beginning like, oh, these are bad decisions. But then after everyone pointed them out, I was like, in my opinion, she reads like I'm not like one of the other girls, but without saying I'm not like the other girls.
Okay.
It's like,
I mean, I guess that's a point in her favor that she doesn't have to say, I'm not like other girls. She just is herself.
Yeah.
I'll have to see when I read it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't let that sway you. Read it for him.
Always for Raph.
Always for this man. She reads like the main character in a slasher movie where you're like, why would you do that?
Oh, he's like, don't go into the basement. And they go into the basement. Yeah.
I might like that then. But also, yeah, it depends. Because me and slashers are literally 50-50. Sometimes I'm like, this is so funny. I love this. And sometimes I'm like, okay, no. You're honestly just too stupid. It hurts. Like, this isn't even fun anymore. Like, it's just.
And I feel like it reads like borderline. Like this one's YA, but I've heard the next one is like hardcore.
Oh.
Oh.
And everyone's like,
Also, is it a duology or is it going to be like a trilogy or a longer series?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know the second one just came out.
Yeah.
But literally everyone that I know that it's read it is like, it's so spicy, which, you know, I don't trust people who say it's so spicy because they're like, it's so spicy and it's not. But
yeah, well, not book related, but Squid Game. So good. But I was seeing all these TikToks about people being like, oh, that spicy scene. And I was like, where? That was like the tamest spicy scene.
Like spicy scenes are one of those things that I feel like it's so weird to, or so hard to like gauge where someone falls on what is spicy and what is not. So someone's like, they made out and they're like, that's spice. And I'm like, okay.
Sure.
Yes. And other times they're like, this happened and it's really intense. And I'm like, you're right. That is 5 peppers.
Yeah, and I guess it depends if they're talking about kind of like the tension or like the actual act that's happening. I think like they both can be intense in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Kind of love it too. It was fun. It's a fun read, as I've said like 7 times. But
yeah. That's the one that has like the ugly purple at the top, right? That I was like, okay, when I see it in store, I get to decide.
Everyone's talking about the ugly purple, and I'm like, look, I haven't seen it, but like, surely it can't be that bad.
I don't like, why? It doesn't match. Sorry, I just
not a vibe.
Like, why?
Like, this is a
matches.
Vibe.
Look at that. It matches. How hard was that? Probably not hard at all. They were like, oh, this color is on the cover. Let me make that be the little band thingy. They were like,
with gold up here?
Yeah, but also like purple and yellow, or purple and gold, they're like complementary colors. So like I'm not that mad, but it does stand out.
Yeah. And I should probably highlight that I really don't like the color purple. Like, it's just, I hate the color purple. So, I'm like, why of all colors is that the one you chose to pull out of nowhere to be this, like, ugly band on the cover?
Yeah. Like, it works. Like, I feel like in person, it's not as noticeable as, like, looking at it online. Because it really is like a really dark purple.
Yeah.
But
I was like, I wanted to
they
see
could have done something like this.
And that's beautiful.
Like, that's a vibe. Let's see. Well, it doesn't say that it's the final installment, so I feel like it's probably a trilogy. Or longer. Because, and okay, first of all, the maps in these books. The maps.
And it's in pages too. I want it.
Like, it's so beautiful.
That reminds me, what book was I just reading that had like the prettiest map? Oh, I wasn't reading it. I remember now. It was in my most recent blog. If you know what book that was that I unboxed.
Oh, I feel like I know. Look at all these beautiful people. I'm on my way to bed, but I happen to see you all were online. Have fun. Oh, good night, Jaleesa.
Good night. She's probably already gone, but good night.
Yes.
All right, yeah, so I just checked Goodreads says Kingdom of the Wicked series is a trilogy. But also sometimes it changes. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, what's gonna happen to the second book? Because that's gonna be crazy.
Is the second one longer than the first one, or about the same?
Let's see. It looks like it. I think it's 100 page, not 100 pages, but probably about like 50, 60 pages longer. This one is like 360, and this is like 430.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, it's like a pet peeve for me if the second book is shorter, because usually that means like they don't do enough. And it's like you've already set up, so give me a chunk. Yeah.
It felt like, when the second book is shorter, it feels like that's the transition. Usually those are the books that feel like transition books. And it's like, well, what was the freaking point?
Yeah.
Just either add more to the first book or to the third. Literally just split it in half and put it between the two books. Make it a duology.
Yeah.
I don't even know like how authors sit down and come up with like a whole series or trilogy. Like, how do you plot that?
Yeah. The amount of times I've been reading a book and I'm like, I'll have these like meta moments where I'm like, someone thought of this world in their head and then brought it outside. Like, how did you do that? Like,
yeah. And especially when it's something that's set up or like introduced really early and then like 3 books later it comes to fruition. I'm like, how did you what? Yeah.
Yeah. I know for a fact I wouldn't be that type of writer. Like, I'm too much of a procrastinator. Like, I know for a fact if I was a writer, I would make all my deadlines like the second it was due. And then that doesn't give me enough time to actually plot out things. Like, I just was like, because I was a student, I just did my essays the night before, and it worked out for me.
And that's what I'm struggling with now, because I'm trying to write a book, but every time I sit down, I'm like, what if I don't do this instead?
Literally, you have, I really need pressure to achieve anything, which is sad and just very stressful in the moment, but I will not do it otherwise. I have learned.
No. And like, I went down to part-time at my job by saying, my year goal was to write a book, and I haven't even started it. And now my coworker like actively is like, so how's the book coming along? And I've just not?
Lovely. It is lovely. I read one yesterday. It was great.
I'm just doing research. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just reading books instead of writing. Yeah.
And truth be told, I am like, but what's been happening is it started as like a hate to love, like enemies to lovers vibe. And now it's become like a grumpy sunshine like book, because I was like, wait, that's so much cuter.
Yep.
And then I hear like one song on the radio and I'm like, no, that. Because it started out as like, it was supposed to be the general theme or like plot of the book was like this girl like goes through, she's like a social media like influencer person and like did college vlogs, but then graduates college and is going through this crisis of like, what am I gonna do now on my channel that I've graduated and I like don't do this anymore. And then she was gonna go on like a social media like hiatus break thing and like go up to the mountains and fall in love with this like little like, I don't do social media, I'm some big bad like I hate that like park ranger guy. And now I got rid of that because I was like, he's a park ranger still, but I don't want to write a YouTuber. Like, that's so much work.
Yeah, for me, the hard part is like I have lots of ideas, but not like the skills to like execute it how I want to. Like, I had this idea for like a dystopian book, and like I started writing it, and I was like, this is crap. But I'm like, I think everyone has that stage. But I was like, how do I make this not this, but like a better version? Yeah.
Like, I gotta go back and read through my like Wattpad and like Archive of Our Own stories, because I read those and I'm like, wait, this is good. Especially my Archive of Our Own. Like, my fanfics, that hit. It was
Oh,
angsty, but
days. I miss the days. I low-key remember my Wattpad name, so I'm like, I probably have the same password. Let me see if I can get into this account.
I could really drop my user for Wattpad right now.
I never really used it.
No, that was when did I learn about Wattpad? Sophomore year of high school, and that was my sophomore year of high school.
I was on it way too young. I was like 12 years old.
Yeah, I know a lot of people found it in like middle school and earlier. I don't know what I was doing.
Like I was reading things that I should not have been. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, let's hit this smut. And that's why I'm like, that's not spicy, Your Honor.
Exactly.
Like the stuff I was reading in 7th grade, 8th grade, that was intense. This is like nothing.
Also, hey, Kira.
Yes, hi Kira. This is me. I also need the pressure.
Exactly. You
Call
get
me out in any Discord I'm ever in. I will probably not respond to you, but call me out and I'll think about it for at least an hour. It's why I work with Pomodoro timers and stuff to create a deadline for myself.
Ooh,
I feel like, yeah, I should do that.
yeah, I really should.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's hard to like separate work into portions. I'm like, if I just like sit down, I can do it in an hour, and I'm like, no, you can't. And like, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't do well in starting a project and then stopping like midway through. For example, like there will be times where I'll wake up like a bit early and be like, okay, I'll just get like this part of a video done in editing. I will not stop until I finish editing that entire video. Like
Yeah.
hours, and I'm be like, well, there goes my extra time in the morning that I gave myself. Or yeah, basically all my like all my assignments that I'll have at work, it'll be the day before I show my supervisor. I'm like working on it. And it was like, I just work well under pressure. I don't know why.
Yeah, and with reading especially, or even like watching things, I'm like, oh, I can watch it fast. And it's like you can't watch it faster. Like unless you can put the speed up, but most things. Or even I'm like, okay, if I spend like 10 hours reading tomorrow, I can finish the book. And I'm like, realistically, you're not gonna do that though.
Exactly. I'm happy I'm not alone. It's literally same.
And that's why that's why I listen to things so fast. I'm like, first of all, my brain needs it, but second of all, I'm like, if I listen to this on 3 times speed, I'll be able to finish it in half the time that I would have on 1.5.
Yeah. But I can't hear it. And they sound like they should be a part of Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I just
You know, like I had an obsession with Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like, you know, back in YouTube time, like 2013, when like all the little YouTubers would like sing songs but super fast.
Yes.
Alvin version, like that. It's a vibe.
Yes.
See, I would go through that. And that's probably why I listen to them so fast now.
Oh, but that's the new one. Sorry, this was like the teeny bopper one back in the day.
I keep thinking my thumb is my pointer finger, so I'm like looking for my pointer finger and I can't see it. And I'm like, where did it go?
I met Alvin and the Chipmunks. Where?
How?
Wait, time. It was scary as hell. Like, wait, what went down?
I am intrigued.
Kira's met like the Cheetah Girls. She's met Alvin and the Chipmunks. Who don't you know?
She met everybody.
Stories, and I just
I need to hear them all.
Exactly. Like, where is the memoir? Where is just a log of people you've met? I'd buy it.
I met Matt Adam. Oh God.
I have done that work being in a mascot suit before, and it's rough.
It's hot. And I fall constantly. Like, as me. I fall constantly. Don't give me, like, extra weight and mess up my equilibrium.
Yeah. My favorite was when I was, like, a chaperone for someone in a suit. There'd always be like an adult being like, "Is there someone in there?" I'm like,
No.
"Yes." Like, no, it's a real robot.
No. Mickey Mouse is the size.
Yeah.
Does he not do? Does it not seem that way on the TV? You know, you lose 10 pounds, or does it add 10 pounds? TV adds 10 pounds. What is
Yeah.
that thing?
Yeah, I think it's ads. Sounds
Yeah.
right. It reminds me of at like the beginning of the pandemic. Someone posted a picture of them in like their like mascot work uniform and with the caption like, "How the fuck am I considered essential?" And it was like them in like a hot dog suit. I was like, I can't imagine. But it was so scary. I cried. I was like 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
I probably actually wouldn't have cried. I would have been like, "That's Alvin."
Oh yeah, no, younger Kalia. I didn't like it when anyone would talk to me. I don't know you, stranger. Danger, back away. It was horrible because my dad's an extrovert, so he'd be like, "Talk to the people. I'm here," and I'd be like, "Mom said no." So literally, my mom would be like, "Everyone is a danger. If you do not know them, you are not talking to them." And versus my dad would be like, "Talk to them. Why aren't you talking to them?" And I'm like, "I rather listen to mom. I don't want to."
Yeah. Yeah. Look, the mascot suits can be scary. And it really just depends. Like some kids are like so excited, and then other ones like as soon as they get close, they're like having a tantrum. So like, nope. Yeah. I'm like, look, my head is like this big. I don't blame you for being scared.
My niece, when the first time we took her to see Santa, she legit just looked at him. She was sitting on his lap like, what is this? Why am I on this man's lap? And then we took her to a black Santa and sis was smiling. She was like, okay, I understand now.
Okay.
I get it.
That's
I
so
was
cute.
dying laughing. I was like, see, it was just the location. She was confused. She was like, why are you putting me on this man's lap? I do not know him. Versus Black Santa. She was like, we could be related. I'm gonna let it go.
I hate mascots. If I cannot identify who is in the costume, you're staying away from me. Oh yeah. At this point in my life,
Exactly.
like, don't breathe on me.
The worst, the most annoying would be the kids that are like old enough to know that it's not real. And they're trying to be like, it's not real. And I'm like, yes, it is. And I'm also like, there's younger kids around. Shut up. It is real.
Right?
I'm like, yeah, well, how come this? Shh. Stop.
Let them have
And
them happy.
we actually had kids like follow us, like follow the mascot to like the change room. So they were trying to be like, yeah, we're gonna find out it's not real. And I was just like, go away. Where are your parents?
Go away.
So I could not imagine.
Children.
It pays well though.
It better.
They're scary, but they pay well.
It better.
It better.
You walking around in a mascot suit, you better get paid good.
Exactly.
Would we like to start our first sprint? And if so,
Absolutely.
to go?
I don't know. I feel like everyone's always like, my little bit of sprinting is like everyone else is like, that is a lot of sprinting. So the audience can decide. Because I'll be like, I don't feel like reading that much. We can do 45. And people are like, I thought you said you didn't want to read that much. And I'm like, exactly. So if I see the hour timer, my mind's just going to wander and be like, you got time. You're fine.
I
30
mean,
and 45 are my sweet spots.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes I can do the hour, but I think like 45 is like pretty solid. I feel like if it's 30, it's almost like not long enough to like get in the groove.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I'm not reading, so I'm cool with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna catch up on YouTube videos as you should. I mean, I guess we could do 45 then.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what most sprints have been that I've been on. So
yeah,
for me.
We could do 45.
45 minutes.
It's going to be so gone tomorrow. All right. Are we
ready?
ready? Ready. Freddie. Let's do this thing. All right. How did everyone do that sprint?
I made it to page 100.
I read 35 pages. Ever closer. I think I've got like 50 pages left and then it's done. Or less. Whew.
I read 55 pages.
Ooh.
I should be finishing this tonight. I'm on page 169.
Yes. Yeah. I really like this book. Before I was like, so for part 1, I was like, yeah, it's really good. It's written very well. I don't know why everybody's freaking out. I know why everybody's freaking out. Like this book, I was so trapped in this book for that entire sprint. Yeah. 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 Just amazing.
It's really beautiful, and it's the fact that like the story reads so well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not lost, and I love like the fact that obviously because they're vampires, it spans centuries.
Yes.
And it's such a vibe. I'm like, because most vampire stuff I feel like recently it focuses mainly on like present day, and it'll do like flashbacks, but not like long time flashbacks. But this is like a lot
Yeah.
of time in such a short span.
Mm-hmm.
Like it like helps the book be even better than it already is.
Exactly. Like they're mentioning like historical events, and unfortunately I was taught by the American school system, so I'm like, I have no reference from when this took place, but I get what you're doing. Like, I get that this is supposed to help me understand how much time has passed. I just don't have that in me.
So good.
I'm
So,
curious. So, Dowry of Blood, like, is it so it's fantasy? Is it more kind of like horror, romance, just like historical fiction? Like, what's like the vibe?
gothic, I would say,
I have
over anything, because yeah, because when it comes to like it's not scary.
Mm.
It's just like dark and paranormal, and I would say it's gothic over any other genre, and I know that's like a long encompassing genre, but so is this book. Like it makes
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, is it a scary book? Because I was like, I don't think so, but you guys are reading it, so
no.
yeah.
no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It has me very interested to read Dracula though, which I had already been interested in reading, but now I'm like, I really want to read it.
I tried reading Dracula, but it's interesting because Dracula is written in letters as well. So it's like, of course, Dowry of Blood's in letters.
Yes. And I think I think I can get the audio book for free. Hold on. But yeah.
I'm
Just a
gonna
little
see.
bit.
Because every time I go to the bookstore, I am so close to picking like Barnes and Noble. I'm so close to picking up their pretty edition of Dracula.
Same. Because it's like every time with their pretty editions, it's because it's like $10, $15. I'm like, ah, beautiful. And it looks like this. Beautiful. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
They,
then something always holds me back.
do I really have the power and effort to read a classic? No. Do I want it just because it's pretty? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Classics are so hard because I'm like, I can understand, like, wow, how formative for the genre. And like, wow, at the time, that was like big news. But just the writing style, I just get so stuck on it because I'm just so used to like fast
Yeah.
paced or just like less dense. And a lot of them are just so hard to
Yeah.
And
read.
that's what I find interesting about A Diary of Blood is it reads like a classic to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters, how they speak and like the writing feels like a classic, but it's actually like really, really something I'm like loving and wanting to pick up.
Yeah. Yeah, the voice I'm reading this in is not my voice. It's some person that would be in like old time, like that generic classic story retelling voice. That's what's reading in my head.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend it. Hi everyone, I'm just popping in because I'm working. Hello.
Hi.
Love y'all.
Oh.
Love you.
Ew. Man. Morning everyone. I'm so glad you guys are sprinting because I just got to work and need all the help I can get.
Yay.
We got you.
Yeah.
We got you, yes. All the productivity.
Yes. We will be doing that. Then Lucy says, "Good morning. I just woke up, 7:20. What are you all reading? I might be able to squeeze in a few minutes of reading before work."
Same, Jenny.
Yeah.
That's my name being Jenny wants to be a vampire.
The same.
That's what always bothered me about vampire books. They're like, ew, I don't want to be a vampire. I'm like, really? Really gonna complain? The Elena effect, we'll call it.
Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm a vampire. Like the power I would have literally.
Like literally.
Yeah, I have a pact with my sister that we made back when Twilight was popular, that if one of us become a vampire, the first person will turn is each other.
That's a good pact.
Lovely. Exactly. You're stuck with me forever.
Yes, I can annoy you forever.
Yes. I just started Gothicana, and it is all the paranormal dark academia vibes.
I haven't heard of this, but that's great.
I'll have to look that up. That sounds
I
good.
feel like I have heard it, but like it's a vague memory. So I'm like, is it because it was a long time ago? Did I just not hear it a lot? It was the spelling for me that really hit a part of my brain that I thought was gone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, it's on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, say less.
Right? That's manageable.
And I need a good dark academia book. I feel like I've just been in the vibe to read them because it's like fall here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of Secret History, so I'm like, yes, all the dark academia. But I've put it down for the readathon, but I might have to pick it back up.
Yeah.
Okay. Rachel read 50 pages.
Yeah.
Look at you go, yes.
Oops. Lucy, I'm reading Empire of the Vampire, and it's so interesting.
Nice.
Sammy also read 50 pages. Yeah.
Yes.
Whoop whoop. Like literally, you wrote it, and also I felt it. So.
Then, how is Misery? I finished it, my first Stephen King novel, last week and loved it.
Oh, this is great. It kind of took a bit to get started before it kind of got like horror, but that's kind of like the suspense of it. But just how disturbed this lady is, it's like, oh my god. But also just being in this guy's head, like the writing, sometimes I have to read something twice because you'll kind of get lost in memory and the present and thinking what could happen, partly because he's on drugs and partly just because he's a writer. And so he's just like thinking of all possible paths. But it's good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Please check out Empire of the Vampire, guys.
It's right here. It's right here. I want to read it for this readathon, but I'm also like, it's just so big.
Yeah.
I don't read that fast.
Same.
I know like nothing about it, other than the fact that Klaus, is like the voice actor for it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Joseph
like,
Morgan?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name? I really need to learn actors' names. The fact that people know actors' names honestly blows my mind. Like, how do you just like his name is Klaus? I'm confused.
Like
Meet
that's
Klaus if you don't really know him, but please, Klaus. What do you mean?
yeah.
Oh,
The audiobook is on Script.
Hey.
But
also the book has illustrations in it, so you gotta like pick. Yeah. Or do both.
Pretty. It is so pretty.
I'm just not a huge J. Kristoff fan, and that's why I feel like I won't pick it up. And
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. I just hope that there's not as many footnotes in this one. As in Nevernight. Yeah.
Oh, just kidding. I forgot we're in different countries. It's not unscripted in my country.
Ah.
Dang. It sounds very similar to A Dowry of Blood.
It was the first time I heard of like this dude is captured, right? And he's not a vampire. Something like that. I just know he's a prisoner and like he hunts vampires and he got captured and he's about to die or something. Either that or he's like the final vampire about to die. Either way, I know he's a prisoner. I know that much.
That's
I read
more
the
than I know.
synopsis.
So yeah.
Another reason why I don't read synopsis is clearly it doesn't stick in my brain. Like clearly it doesn't stick. I did all that work for nothing.
Yeah. It's the worst doing book hauls where I'm like, it's this book. I'm excited.
Right? I'm like, okay, I know a gist of kind of what it's about, and that just made me interested. So I'm gonna read it at some point.
I'm like, I know the author who wrote it, and they have funny tweets. So
also that.
Yeah, or I'm like, it's fantasy, and it's about this one thing.
I heard people love romance in this. Got it.
I heard someone on YouTube say something. I don't remember what it was, but it's in the
But they said it.
Dang, that's so powerful. And I get that though. The writing is a lot of times. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Vampire the Vampire, right? That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And emotionally, I can't handle that this month. And knowing that next month I'm preparing to read Our Violent Ends, like.
You just reminded me that I'll be reading These Violent Lights this month, and I just got very excited.
I still need to read it. Oh.
I purposely waited to read it for this month because the cliffhanger apparently is horrible. Like, yeah, basically, who wrote it?
Chloe Young.
Okay, yeah, I was mixing her name up with somebody else, but like, yeah, apparently Chloe Young is like evil for that plot twist because I just remember everyone being like, "How dare you make me wait?" And so yeah.
Oh, good. It's really good. Like,
yeah, I always feel like I'm cheating when I like binge a series once it's done. Because I'm like, oh, people would have been mad, and I'm just like here, just back to back to back.
Literally, I think I read it and then immediately went on like AO3 and was like, okay, AO3, provide me with the content I need based off of a couple in the book that I love. But I love like every character in that book. Like, I would die for These Violent Delights.
And so excited.
Can't wait
to get to it.
When y'all read it, I might reread it. Like, I already know what happens, but a reread might happen.
And it's always good before reading the next one to reread. I mean, like, I hardly ever do, but like, it's a good idea.
Yes. And I feel like because it'll be so close to like the release of the second that a lot of people will be rereading it. So I'll
Yeah.
get the vibes of like, okay, literally everyone I know is reading this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly to this. Exactly. Benedict is my. I would die for him.
I don't know who it is yet, but
Right. I can't wait
Same.
to understand.
I would die for Benedict, and I would die for literally all of them. Like, who am I saying? I'm not gonna list them. I'll just say all of them. What do you guys plan on reading for the week?
I have no clue. That's
TBD.
I know that the only other book that's like for sure is The Taking of Jake Livingston. Like White Smoke, A Diary of Blood, and The Taking of Jake Livingston were the books that I was like, I specifically held off reading these books for Thrillathon. So like clearly my brain is like, I want to read it.
Yeah, I've got a few. I might chop and change. I want to read And Then There Were None because I've never read Agatha Christie, and I've heard this one's good and it's short, so points. Also got The Stranger Beside Me, which is a true crime about Ted Bundy, but I feel like this is not going to be a fast read, so maybe in between I'll read
Was it Nat that was just like raving about that book?
That's what I was thinking.
this. Could be.
I feel like she
I
said.
liked it.
And then OBS, we've got This Chunky Boy and The Silent Patient and The Maidens. But I'm like, I don't know which one to read first. I kind of want to read The Maidens first. But also, I feel like it's going to be really fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think for you, I vote The Maidens first because the other people that liked both, they read The Maidens first and then went to Silent Patient. And of the people I've seen that didn't like The Maidens, it's because they read Silent Patient first.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Like, well, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
If I was interested in the books, good to know.
I will be reading after I finish A Dowry of Blood. The only other book on my official TBR is White Smoke, but I'm not starting that until the audiobook is on Scribd.
It is.
Is it already? I thought for me it didn't release until the 13th.
Oh, how nice they did that on my birthday for you. Then yeah, you probably just have too many saved books because I remember it did that for Cemetery Boys or Lost in the Neverwoods. It did that to me for one of them, and then I found out it was available for everybody, and I was like, oh, I must have just saved too many books at one time. So I got rid of some of my saves because I was like, I don't have time to wait a day. Literally, I think it was like a week I had to wait, and I was like, excuse me, your script though, and it's here. I see it.
Let's see. I think I got rid of some of my saved earlier today, and it's still showing me the 13th, but that works for my favor because if I finish A Dowry of Blood tonight, I'm going to pick up Box in the Woods.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I've also got Truly Devious just like looking at me on the shelf.
As you should.
I just have too many options. Yeah.
I have that.
And then also
box set looking at me, and it has been looking at me since Kira gifted it to me because it has been at the top of my TBR literally since I received it. But I know for a fact I want to binge them all, and it just hasn't worked yet.
Yeah.
As you should. Those books. That's it. That's all I have to say. They're so good.
Yeah. I need to start Vampire Academy soon.
I do too.
For the read along.
It's
so like maybe this week. I don't know. It's fast though, and it's short.
Yeah. If I get through White Smoke, I will pick up Vampire Academy for the end of the week.
Hell yeah. And then I've also just got others that I'm like, ooh, Three Dark Crowns has been sitting there for a while. And I feel like that's like a dark-ish fantasy. And then I've got a zombie one called The Forest of Hands and Teeth, which I haven't heard about in a long time. But I remember like old booktube days, people were talking about it.
Yeah.
So who knows if it's still good?
Again, you just opened up like a part of my brain that was closed that I didn't know existed. I was like, whoa, I haven't heard that title in a minute.
Right? Yeah.
Leah, you're gonna love it.
These Silent Delights? Oh yeah, I know I am.
I'm team Silent Patient, but I did like the Maidens. I only own the Maidens.
I don't own either, but I think I'm the most interested in Silent Patient.
It's on the
Like literally everyone was shocked by that ending, and I'm like, what was the ending?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Tell me the ending.
I don't know. They both sound so good because I'm like, okay, creepy mute criminal or cult. They're both so intriguing. Yeah.
I think that was also it. Like, I live in Washington State. Our serial killers and our cults. Yeah, I've got enough. I'm good.
It's like, Vampire Academy. OMG is big.
Yes.
I was in school when I read that. Same.
Yeah. I think I was like reading them as they were coming out. And that was so
cool
good.
when I heard of them. I don't think I read them. I'm like almost positive I didn't read them.
Yeah, I remember reading them after Twilight, and I was like, this is so much better than Twilight. Why doesn't everyone know about this?
I never read Twilight, but I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know what Twilight is. You know what Vampire Academy is, and there's a clear winner.
Yeah.
But, and I like literally remember reading the last book of Vampire Academy, staying up until like 3 a.m. before school and like crying. And my mom was like, girl, what is wrong with you? And I was like, well, this. And I put off reading it for like months because I was like, I can't finish this. I can't finish the series. I'm gonna hurt. What's my personality going to be?
Yeah, like what do I? Yeah, I remember being so annoyed at the end of the series because like it was poetic justice, like was how it ended, and I was like, oh, what? No. But now that I'm older, I'm like, okay, no, that was a good way to end it. I was just annoyed.
I can't wait to get back.
Can't have my cake and eat it too.
Interesting.
House of Night series, anyone?
I remember this being really popular around the same time. And I've only read the first one, but that was only like 2 years ago. And it was fun, but I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to commit to this crazy long series. But I see the potential there.
If it was a long series, yeah, it's almost guaranteed. I didn't even look at it because I suck at series. Like, you can have 4 books in your series, and I still wouldn't read the whole series. I don't know why I'm so bad at it. Like,
I think it's just hard because it's like I don't want to just read one thing. You do kind of have to read them close to each other to know what's up.
If it's not a trilogy, the chances of me picking it up are very 15. Oh, see.
Yeah, I was just looking up on Goodreads, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is this long. They're not chunky, but that's a lot of books.
Yeah.
No.
See, I literally just thought of so many series that had like a ton of books that I didn't get past like book 5 at the latest. And the series would have like 20 or something.
Yeah. I like gave up on Pretty Little Liars because when that show came out, I was like, oh, let's read the books. And then I was like, eh.
Same. I watched the show first, read the books, and I think it was Emily having a sister when I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, it was too different.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
They're so, because I think by the time she was introduced, I was like, there's literally so many characters at this point that are nowhere near being in the show. I can't do this.
Yeah, or it'd be like, oh, they get killed off. And I'm like, they're not dead on the show, so you can't do that.
Right?
No. I feel like series that if you didn't get into them when they were like coming out at the peak, it's too late now.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so much else to read that I'm like, there's no time.
Exactly.
I don't have time for 15 books. Sorry.
Right? Unless
they're books I actually want to be reading.
I was to say, literally me thinking about rereading Nancy Drew. Like, there's 30 books in that series, and I'm like, I want to read them. That was so integral to my childhood that I'm like, yes, I'll read all 30. I didn't read all 30 at the time, but I'm sure I can do it now.
You gotta do like a vlog like Gav did of
But that also low-key made him insane. So that terrified me. A 3-hour long vlog of me reading Nancy Drew.
That would be fun. I'd be like, time to watch.
Yeah. And then by the time you got far in, you'd get really good at predicting what's going to happen.
Exactly.
It's like classic Nancy, of course.
Just you every night on sprints, and everyone's like, "What you reading?" And you're like, "Nancy Drew."
I'm on book 5 now.
That reminds me of like the tweets that get really big that are like, some of y'all really be reading a series, telling people to read and say, "Don't worry, it gets good by book 5."
Oh yeah, see, that was another reason I could never finish a series. I don't have time to wait for it to get good. It's either good or it's not.
Oh yeah. Like, I simply can't.
There is no waiting in this household. I don't have patience. What do you mean?
I used to have more patience. Like as a teenager, like pretty much every series I started, I was like, let's go. And I'm like, I'm not really liking it, but I'm here, so we're reading. And now I'm like, eh.
I don't think I've ever had patience. If anything, my patience is better now, and that's saying something. Younger Kalia had even less.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe the turning point was when authors started doing spin-offs like 5 years after it was finished. And I'm like, no, that hardly ever works out well. I don't want it.
Like the first spin-off. Why would you do multiple?
Exactly.
If this character was meant to be a main character, they should have been the original.
Yeah, well, I remember reading Maze Runner as a teen, and I was like, that was fun, cool. And they're like, oh, here's a prequel. And I was like, oh, this has none of the characters, I don't care. And like, here's a spin-off series to get the answers I didn't give you. And then I tried reading that, and I was like, no, you've lost me.
Just no.
Just leave it.
I'm on the final Witcher book, and it's getting boring now. See, this is a crime.
Oh,
Like, going through the whole series and then it's boring at the end. Like, fix it.
Right?
yeah.
For the final book, just see, that's another one that I am not even low-key. I'm high-key more interested in watching the show than I am reading the books.
Yeah, especially because like the first few books, or some of them are like novellas, and I'm like, I just short stories and me, we don't get along the best. I'm like, just give me one big story. Otherwise, I'm just gonna read one and then be like, done.
It feels like so much effort to go through and like read. And the problem with readers as a whole is they're like, we're gonna make a series about these books, and we're like, okay, time to binge every book in the series, even though it's only gonna be season 1.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, it's time.
Literally.
And then we watch the season 1 and it's like, yeah, that was book 1, I guess. And then you have to wait, and then they're so long that you make it through several seasons, but they completely loses track of whatever was in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, I was gonna say, like, that one show that I think I'm thinking of, and then Game of Thrones. That's what I was thinking of. But I was like, there was
What's
just so many
that? I've never
different
heard of that.
series. There was so
You're
many
like, let me think
different
of it.
series that the
Oh yeah,
author
that
was
wildly
still
popular
writing
one.
as the show was going. That I was like, why would you even do that? Like, does that make sense to you? Pretty Little Liars did that. Like, they made the show before they finished the books. I think, not the originals. The original show for the originals. What was that called?
Vampire Diaries?
Yeah, I think the books, like, I think the final book hadn't been released yet, and they started the show. I was like, why not wait? Like, patience is a virtue. Like, the author is not going to be able to write a book faster than a television show is going to end. Like, that takes time.
Yeah.
But there so many TV shows like ultimately end up not even following like the plot of the books.
Exactly. So it's like, why?
They're like, we have writers. And I actually enjoy the novellas more. The main storyline is so confusing.
Oh, that's a shame.
Mm.
Like, I want to pick up the novellas after Mel read them. I was like, this sounds really cool. But then I was like, am I emotionally prepared for that? No.
Me
Well,
with
even like
everything.
the first season of The Witcher, I think I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Because I'm like, I think I understood, but I think there's still things that I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. The Vampire Diary books are completely different, though. And
That
yet,
I heard
is
that.
weird.
even down to the fact that, like, Elena in the books had, like, uber blonde hair.
Yeah, like
Mm.
wasn't that like a huge part of her description? Because I do remember people being like upset and being like, "What is this?" Also, who is this? Like, what? I remember that so much.
That reminds me of when the Percy Jackson movie came out, and everyone's like, Annabeth is blonde. Ugh. And for the second movie, she's like, fine, I'm blonde now. People, and people still like, no, these movies suck. The blonde hair didn't help.
Yeah, I mean they're also teenagers and they were supposed to be children.
Yeah.
Which why? Like there's no way that's gonna translate. Like think of your 10-year-old self. Think of your high school age self. That no, those are not the same people.
No.
And that's why my whole brand is like, why can't that be an animated series?
Yeah, that'd be a great animated
Yep.
series.
Like, and I feel like literally they just are like, animated series are bad because they're childish. Well, first of all, it's
They're
written for kids. They're kids' books. Second of all, get that nasty opinion out your head, because how many adults actually sit down and watch cartoons all the time?
I was going to say, get that out your head because Avatar: The Last Airbender, also Steven Universe, get out the way, move. Okay, first of all, two amazing cartoons. I didn't even
And
watch
just
Steven Universe until I was an adult. I didn't watch that until like last year.
And it's the
and like
fact
with fantasy, you can do so much more in animation. Sometimes the CGI just goes like weird or wrong. Like it just look better in animation because they can do everything and more.
Literally.
exactly. Like, and exactly, like, that's my whole thing is with stuff like that, you literally could get more out of the content and stick to actual plot lines and actual descriptions of things. But I feel like so many times now with like CGI and like hardcore makeup stuff is that they want it to be more than what it is described as. They're like this. And I'm like, cartoon, please. Well, the first season of The Witcher is based off of the first two novellas mainly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but wait. So are the novellas a prequel to the main storyline, or is it like a part of it? Basically, can I just read the novellas and pretend like that's it? Like, that's basically my question.
Yeah, like I don't know how it fits in with the timeline. Because I
Yeah.
know at least the show was like a bunch of different timelines together. So I wonder how that fits in with like the core books of the series.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yes. Like, I don't have the energy to read the whole Witcher series. Give me the novellas.
Right.
And that's it.
I just
How
need
long is the Witcher series? Like 7 or 8?
see, that's more than 3. The chances of me finishing
Yeah, I was like,
that
it's
is
long, but
very
it's
low.
not Wheel of Time.
The chance of me finishing that series is very low.
The novellas are really important to read. So you're saying that we could get away with not reading the other stuff.
Right? Like the novellas are the important part. Main storyline.
5 main books.
Oh, so that's where the 8 came from.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's interesting that they did that to season one then. If there was three novellas, why not just make season one all three? Well, they probably had a reason. I'll let it slide. They probably had a reason.
So I have to leave it about half an hour. Did we want to do another sprint?
Yeah.
I'm down. First two novellas are prequels. So, but yeah,
Okay.
we can start another sprint. I don't even know how much longer I can go. I'm like coughing up my lung.
No.
We love that.
Like
That
so powerful of me.
happened to me a couple nights ago. I was like, I am going to wake up sick. I know, because what is happening right now? I feel like I'm being attacked by life.
Yes. But yeah, we could throw up the timer for 45 again, I guess, if you want to leave in the middle of the sprint, or we could go shorter.
I mean, whatever's easier for you guys. I can just click out partway through, or yeah. And then I'll just update on Discord what I read. If anyone cares.
All right.
Yeah. And about the Witcher show, I'm like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I think it has potential.
I haven't watched it,
Like it's a cool
but
world.
that white man is beautiful enough to wear that ugly wig. It still looks fine enough for him. So
Yeah.
I'm intrigued in that way. Also, that scene that Mel sent us, I was like, yes, I for some reason I'm all about all the gore. Yes. I love a good fight scene.
So
Like if there's gore. Like I'm very specific. I don't like gore by itself. I don't like just an action movie. I don't get the point. Add gore to the action. Yes. All the fight scenes, all the blood. Let's see it.
yes. Okay, yes, he is so hot, and that's why I want to love it. Exactly.
He has other things he's a part of. It's fine.
When I'm gonna watch it, but only for him, knowing nothing about
Literally had never heard of him before. And then saw him and was like, I think I've seen you in something. Now I'm like,
Yeah,
I would like to see
Superman.
you more.
All right. Me throw up this timer bad boy thing.
Heck yeah.
And we could start our sprint.
Okay.
Hello, besties. How did we do?
I read another 30. I can tell I'm getting tired because I slowed down.
I managed to finish this right in time.
How do you like it?
I gave it 4 stars. I feel like the writing in this is beautiful, but also there's no plot. Like there's a plot, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's it was really good. I really liked it.
Yeah. I'm really liking it. I finally got a date that I understand, like a reference, that gave me a date and time. America has formed.
Yes, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Iconic, truly.
Just yeah. I'm really enjoying my time. Thoroughly enjoying my time. Like I said, every time I read it, I'm like really trapped in what I'm reading.
Like the writing is so good. I want to pick up the author is apparently also a poet
I can tell.
and I want other works just to see what they're like. Hi, I have been participating even though I just logged on. I have been listening to an audiobook since midnight. Kingdom of Souls. That's really cool. Sometimes I find that I can get a lot of reading done off of sprints without the distraction of like coming back to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that was me yesterday. I was like, I honestly just want to binge White Smoke. I don't want to, I don't want to stop. I don't want to like, yeah, I just want to read. Which honestly, it's been a while since I felt that way. Usually I'm like, I'm good either way. But this time I was like, no, no, no. I want to just read.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. Just got home and I'm amazed to see y'all still here.
Same.
Like literally, I'm gonna pass out. Like I can't make it 4 hours. Like I'm going to pass out. But I'm surprised. Like Nat just getting home, and this comment was at 12:10.
Go off, Nat. I'm
Like
proud.
spill the deets in the Discord or something. Like how was the
Yeah.
day?
I want all the details.
Amber said she just
Hey,
got home from
Amber.
work. Hi, Amber. We love to see it. Besties.
Hey, Marvin.
I feel like this has happened to Marvin on literally every sprint I've been on. That he comes in right as we're all like, and good night.
Good night. I'm a chug of Red Bull one of these sprints, and I'm gonna just stick with you, Marvin. But you're also about to go to work, so I feel like it ends up working out.
Exactly. Rachel read 56 pages.
Go off.
That's a lot
I
of
love
pages.
that.
I'm proud. We love to see this reading productivity. Not a single page. Girl, you don't even have to read a single page. You just had a date that was so long. So, good for you. My chat isn't working on my laptop. I hate it.
YouTube chat?
I feel like it. Hopefully.
Yeah, mine does that sometimes on my phone. But then that always reminds me of like, why are you even trying to chat on your phone? I feel like it's the most inconvenient on like the YouTube app.
No.
Oh, so it's long. Like, okay, when
Like, I don't know what this is referring to, but okay.
just
When y'all say goodnight, I say, let me go to work. That's that time zones at work again.
exactly.
Like, I don't know how they do it. Time
I
zones
don't
are
know how we do it. I feel, yeah. Especially literally while reading this book, I was like, oh yeah, we're basically all by ourselves over here. Like, they were living it up, exploring the world, having a blast. They had so much to explore for
yes.
centuries. And then they're like, oh, they just America exists now. There's a new place. Like, what?
Like that's why I want to be a vampire. Like I just think it would be so cool.
Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely just be traveling everywhere.
Oh yeah. You're like, you can't stop me. I sent you the deets in Discord. Okay, bet.
Yes!
Period.
I was trying so hard not to be like, where it go? I changed my passcode for my new phone, and it takes me a minute to remember. I always have to readjust.
Me. That's like my friend. Whenever we're in her car, she's like, "Here, use my phone," and like I know her passcode, and she has a 4-digit passcode, and I have a 6-digit passcode, and I always go to type mine in, and it like stresses me out every time. I'm like,
Yeah.
now I have to backspace it all, and it always like her phone inevitably messes up every time I backspace.
Right? And also, it literally, mine starts the same because I base it off of people's names because for some reason I know a lot of people with 6-letter names, including myself, but I don't use myself because that's way too obvious. Um, but literally, it all stayed the same, especially because not only do all of our names start with K's, but they all start with K's and they're all 6 letters. So it's like, what happens after this? Like, all I have are names and dates.
Like, I remember for the longest time, my password was 4 digits, and it was just a number I randomly picked, and then I was like, "This is the year I'm gonna die," just to be like angsty and emo. And it was like 2053, but now it's like totally different.
Yeah.
I was like, I told my sister when I was like, "Yeah, this is the year I'm gonna die," and she's like, "Girl, what's wrong with you?"
Do you want to talk?
It's like, well, a lot, but we don't have the time to unpack that right now.
But we're here now, so let's live.
My passcode is easy. Everyone technically knows it. They just need to use their brains.
I feel like I know it. I feel like you do what my sister does.
Sometimes I wish I had the phones where the passcodes are like little pictures. I love the ones
Right?
like all crazy. I'm like,
I
wow.
remember when I had my Android. I don't remember if it was Samsung or what it was, but I do remember someone taught me how to do like a more difficult version of the code. And I was like, but if you're pointing it out to me, clearly it's not that hard. And now you know my passcode. And so I just did it, but in reverse, I think. Yeah. And then it just made me mess up more because there was more steps and more crossing, and it was a lot.
Yes. Those were the days. Having an Android where I could draw my passcode.
Right?
But I would not go back.
Yeah, no. My Androids always were like, it's time for an upgrade. At least with Apple, I was able to keep my phones past my upgrade time. Never for my Android. I always had a problem.
I don't think I've had an Android since I was in middle school.
Same was
Like
middle school.
those things. But my whole family is an Android family, except me. And then I got my mom on it. Now she's an Apple. And I was like, as you should be, mom.
Yep. My sister was the last one to come over.
Like, I get the hype behind an Android. Like they have a bunch of cool features and obviously don't have the storage problems that Apple does, but
Yeah.
Apple has all the features I want.
Yep. Also, now that now that Samsung has those like flip ones, I am very very tempted because there's nothing like flipping a phone to and a call, but it's not worth that much.
And I feel like
Nostalgia isn't that intense.
have you had the discussion that kids nowadays, like when we were kids holding up a phone like that was pretend is like this, but
Now
kids
they
nowadays
click.
like, that's so sick. Like what is that?
What
That's
is
a
this? This looks like something. What is this?
like you don't even hold your phone like
I was
that.
gonna say that's not even how you.
Like, come on, at least go like this. Like
Are you a cartoon?
I feel like the touchscreen flip phones are so breakable. Yeah, like that stresses me out. But I want to be able to slam that like closed.
Yes.
Say
I saw
goodbye.
one in the store. It's not, well, clearly it's not glass, but it literally feels like plastic. Like that like bendy plastic. Ooh, I was
Okay.
wondering, go off, Nat.
Why does this remind me of like a young Raul?
Then even more so, go off, Nat.
Like not winning. Like, okay. Did I just fan cast a real person? Yes.
Me.
But we love to see it.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Message me what you think it is, Kalia.
I did. Oh
You
no.
did? Ooh. I don't even know if I want to pick up A Box in the Woods next. Like, I want to, but also I feel like I should read The Shadow of the Wind.
Yeah.
Because I have the audiobook now on my Libby. I'm like,
I forgot to even check if it had it available on my Libby.
like, it was on hold and I wasn't supposed to get it for like 2 weeks. But then it came in today after I used the credit on Audible. So I sent that back. No, I will not be doing that.
Yep. I did place a hold on it because of course mine is not available. I don't understand what it is about the books that I want lately, but it's literally I have to like wait weeks for them to come in. I'm like, I've literally never had to wait before. What is going on with people around me now? They're not
Yeah.
even like new books. There'll be books that have been out for a while. I'm like,
And I feel like the same thing is happening with mine. Like there'll be a lot of new books that are available. Like randomly. Like I'll just look them up after they didn't even exist and they'll be like available to borrow. And I'm like, okay. But then like older books, like I think I have a hold on
yeah, let me check my holds.
like there's so many that I hold on and I'm like, what? Like the Seven Husbands, like I won't get that for 9 weeks.
Lies. I have 17 holds. What? Oh no, that's my timeline. That's what I have. Oh well, that one doesn't need to be on hold anymore because apparently Scrib has it. Actually, I'm gonna keep it just in case Scrib decides to lose its mind.
And what's stressing me out is the fact that the popular book, like all of them, basically are available to borrow for audio right now. But I know that the second I actually want to pick them up and borrow them, they're gonna be like on hold for 5 weeks.
Right? It's literally it's targeted. They're like, "Oh, you want it? No." Move
And,
to a
like,
bigger city.
someone's like, there's always people waiting for like the books I have, and I'm like, I feel guilty for not sending them back when I'm not reading them, but
Yep. There are 5 people waiting for Jake Livingston, and I was like, this is where I was. So honestly, you can wait.
like, don't ruin this for me.
I literally was like, I don't even know if I'm 4. It's 4 people. One of them dropped off. I was like, I don't even know if I want to listen to this one on audio, but I'm gonna take the audiobook anyways. You can wait too. I'm petty.
Exactly. Like, if I have to wait for it, you have to wait for it.
Exactly.
And the ones that are the most insulting to me are ones where it's like there's only one person ahead of you and they take that whole 2 weeks.
Right? Like,
Look,
give me my book.
like y'all reading Honey Girl, that's like 200 pages.
It really do be the smallest book too. Like the audiobook will be like 8 hours and they take the entire allotted time to get to, like, what? Are you serious?
Like, how? You listening to that on like 0.01 speed?
Right? They want to just slow down.
That's insulting to me. The person who's just trying to read this short book.
Right? Especially since like now I know that it tells you when people are waiting for it, because I didn't know it told you when people were waiting for it until I saw this. I was like, oh, so you knew I was waiting and you okay, cool. I see how it is. I know, Nat, right? Just rude and disrespectful. How dare they have the same ideas as me? Even sparked for the same reason. It's spooky season.
But can't they just read like something else?
Right? Can't you want something else? I want this now. You would assume that I was an only child, and I was not. I'm like, I want it, so you can't have it.
Exactly. Like, this is the one thing we get to have. We can't even have that. Like, I like the ones that are like, yeah, this is several months out. You won't even get to see this until next year.
You won't be seeing this until you've forgotten that you ever wanted to read it in the first place.
You gave up and read it physically without the audio.
Literally. Like, literally. You've read the book, you've rated it, it wasn't that great.
And then the audiobook comes in like insulting you.
Like, remember me? Good night, Nat.
Good night, Matt. Sleep well.
Yeah, sweet dreams.
Y'all know I'm in. Tell me why I slept in my hoodie last night.
But why is this me? Literally, when my state was going through our heat wave, I can't not sleep with the covers. I legit didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, I'll sleep on top of my comforter, but then I'm gonna have my blankets still wrapped around me. I didn't. And then I was like, I'll just leave my foot out so then I can get cold out from that. Yeah, I was like, no, 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 no. I know I'm honestly feel like I'm burning in hell, but how can you not have something on you?
I don't know how you do it. I would like actually die. I would never.
It helps that I'm like naturally on the colder side of things. Like when I went to Vegas, it's like that dry heat. I was like, this honestly feels great. Like this feels amazing. I was like, it feels like I'm in a cover. Like, because that'll be the one thing because I live in Washington State. So when it'll be like it's 80 degrees, I'll be like, but what is the wind doing? Because that is absolutely gonna make me feel like I'm colder than I am.
Yeah. I'm naturally like hot all the time. And my dad does not believe in the AC at nighttime. And so I gave up. My sheet is not, I don't even have that on anymore. I just like exist.
It was cold for some reason because I was wearing a tank top. I think it was like 59 outside here last night, and I had my windows open and the fan on. It get too hot.
I literally would be sick if I did that.
That's probably why I am. But
You said it out loud like, huh, wait.
yeah.
Things are starting to make sense.
But you know,
It felt good at the time.
my choice of the night. All right. Well, here we go.
Oh no. I saw the word humidity and my brain literally said, "Oh, that is a devil." Nope.
No.
I didn't even read the rest of the message. I just saw 80 something humidity and it just no. I don't do humidity.
Oh no.
Humidity is racist. The things it does to my hair, like I just no.
That just get rid of it. Toss it. Like
no.
Like I need my like 95 in the shade, dry heat.
Exactly.
I can thrive on that. But you throw in the humidity, all of a sudden I'm dead.
Throw in the humidity. I'm not leaving my home. Like, no, you cannot make me. No, it's not happening.
My roommate's about to do the math here.
To convert it, isn't it some like very like odd number? Like
Yeah.
like something like yeah, I can't even think of the number that might be it because it's literally just so random.
Google says that it was 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
And you were
I don't know how. That's powerful. I would have the tank top would have been enough.
And then my body is different temperatures. Like nothing. First of all, nothing is worse than when my feet are different temperatures. Like I'll have one warm foot and one cold. I'll be like, how did this even happen? You guys were literally in the same place. Like, how did this happen? But then my legs will get warmer than my upper half of my body. So like I cannot sleep with pants on. I feel trapped. I feel stuck. And so like literally I just have night shirts. I'm like, nope, can't do this. But like I need something covering my arms.
It's too much. I can't sleep with long sleeves or pants. Unless I'm like
long sleeve, but I cannot do pants.
Like I camped a lot growing up, and we went to, like for Thanksgiving to Joshua Tree, and Joshua Tree is known for being super hot, but in the winter it gets freezing, like below freezing, and I don't think I've ever been that cold. Like I slept in like leggings, sweats, like a hoodie, a jacket, in like a 32, like one of the like really good sleeping bags.
Yep.
And I was still like, I can't. I was like, Mom, you have to lay on this bed and give me warmth. It's too freaking cold here in this tent. It was a lot.
Yeah, no, just no.
Yes, I'm crazy. Yeah,
Yes, you are.
I don't know how you did that. Wait, the author of The Witch's Heart pubbed this?
Oh, there it is. I never read The Witch's Heart. It even became available in my library like a few days ago because again, it was one of those books that had me on a long wait and then it just became available and then I was like, well, no, I don't want you. I wasn't interested in you in the first place. That's why I got an audiobook on Libby. And now you're here and I really don't want you, and the timeline is over with. The deadline has passed.
Yeah, I feel that. And if, like, I think my hold came in like on time to read it, but after reading everyone's reviews, I was like, I don't care.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll let y'all go to sleep, and I need to finish getting ready for work. Marvin is really sacrificing here, letting us go to sleep.
You're the best. There will be more late sprints. I know I'm doing one on Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing one Thursday. I just know I'll be at something.
Right. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know the schedule at all. I barely remember when I'm supposed to be on. So
Like, and it messes me up that it's in Central.
same. I'm be like, I forget what made me have to do math lately. Because it wasn't even Central. I was like Central versus Eastern, and I was like, I don't. This isn't. Why am I even trying to compare this? Like, this is dumb.
Yes.
But okay.
But yeah, it's time for us to peace out and get some sleep.
Yes. Good night.
Good night, everyone. It was so fun sprinting.
Ooh.
Okay, we love to see this.
Exactly. First of all, we love that because again, Wednesday, my birthday, clearly great things are happening then. Jenny gets white smoke, you get a day to yourself. What's more important?
The vibes will be immaculate.
Exactly.
All right, yo.
Good
Peace.
night.
Good night.
Dreams, all that jazz.